हेलो हाय आदाब और सत श्री अकाल। एक बार फिर से आ गया हूँ मैं आप लोगों के बीच, आपका हमराज आरजे अमनम, और आज लेकर आया हूँ अब मैं नो योर डिपार्टमेंट, जो कि आपको पता है कि हमारे पूरे दिन में जो कि एक खासम खास शो होता है और आप लोगों के पास हम आते हैं हर बार, हर एक स्कूल से, वहाँ के एक डिपार्टमेंट से, किसी एक फैकल्टी को या किसी एक स्टूडेंट्स को, जो हमें वहाँ पर जो हो रही गतिविधियां हैं, एक्टिविटीज हैं, या कोई नया प्रोजेक्ट सामने आया है, कोई नया पेटेंट किया गया है, कुछ भी नई एक्टिविटी की गई है, कोई नया लैब बनाया गया है, स्थापित किया गया, उसके बारे में आकर बताते हैं। आज मेरे साथ ऐसी ही एक और शख्सियत मौजूद हैं। आज यहाँ पर हैं पब्लिक हेल्थ में जो लेक्चरर हैं, जिनका नाम है निधि पलेकर। तो वो यहाँ पर आए हैं, आज मैं उनका वार्म वेलकम करता हूँ और उनसे आज हम करेंगे चंद सवालात डिपार्टमेंट एंड स्कूल ऑफ पब्लिक हेल्थ के बारे में। निधि, गुड आफ्टरनून, कैसे हैं आप? वेरी वार्म वेलकम।
थैंक यू, आई एम गुड, थैंक यू मिस्टर अभिनव।
तो सबसे पहले न्यू डिपार्टमेंट में आपके लिए पहला एक क्वेश्चन। रिसेंटली इन December द स्कूल ऑफ पब्लिक हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइज्ड अ कॉन्फ्रेंस कॉल्ड CARCON. Can you tell me more about this conference?
जी, so in December, that is on the 8th and 9th of December, the School of Public Health organized CARCON, which was in association with CAR, Consortium Against Rabies, which is based in New Delhi.
Oh, okay.
So this was the 11th edition of the conference, which was hosted by our school. Okay. And it has been going on for a while, because rabies is something that's a completely preventable disease, but it rapidly spreads and is in India it's responsible for 36% of rabies deaths globally. So India has a lot of deaths related to rabies, and high number of these deaths happen because of dog bites.
Oh yes.
And we are aware of the situation that happened in Kerala also, because of a lot of stray animals, stray dogs,
yes,
that would bite, and a lot of unvaccinated animals that are around us, because of which this risk of rabies increases, and there's a lot of misinformation. Yes, also.
They were actually not with the anti-rabies vaccine.
Yes, the vaccine is also something that has been in discussion, because we have the post-exposure vaccine, but now we are talking about pre-exposure vaccine. We are talking about how we can keep ourselves safe from these stray animals, because they're all around us.
You're right.
So this subject of rabies is very important, and as a School of Public Health, we felt that this conference could bring together people from different fields.
Yes.
So that the lay person, anybody, would be able to understand this disease better, because the symptoms of this disease are quite unique. So it would be important for us to understand how we can keep ourselves safe, what to do if an animal bites us, things like that. So that is why CARCON was organized, and we also had a pre-conference workshop on the 7th. So this was a full-fledged event exploring rabies from different aspects, from the disease aspect of how does one contain it, what is the vaccine, when is the vaccine given, what is the usual treatment, first treatment that is given if there is a bite. At the same time, what is the kind of education that exists right now on rabies? Should it be included in school curriculum? Should it be something that the public talks about in the mainstream forum? And at the same time, how can technology help with reducing rabies? Can technology help with rabies surveillance? Whereas a lot of these animals that have been vaccinated, can we do a surveillance check to understand how many
so
of these
important.
and using technology at in this age, when we have so much
the
access.
Boom of the emergence and artificial intelligence.
Yes, artificial intelligence. How can we take advantage to reduce these deaths? Because India has adopted the resolution to go to completely zero deaths by 2030.
Nice.
So now, being 2024, and when we organized, it was like almost 2024, we wanted to see how far have we come and how far can we go, considering all the advantages we have, such as
Sure, nicely explained, Nidhi.
collaboration.
Yes, बहुत अच्छे से आपने एक्सप्लेन किया. एंड प्लीज डोंट माइंड, एक बात मुझे भी और कहनी थी, क्योंकि मेरी एक फ्रेंड है और वो स्ट्रे डॉग्स को लेकर ही काम करती हैं वर्षों में. उनका एक अपना एक एनजीओ जो उन्होंने बनाया. बट द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट शी टोल्ड मी कि वो जो कि बहुत सिंसियरिटी से काम करती है, कि वो बहुत सारी जगह अलग अलग जगह गई, वर्षों के अलावा यारी रोड, स्पेशली 4 बेंगलोर 7 बेंगलोर एरिया इन अंधेरी. अब वहाँ पर जो एनजीओज हैं वो ज़्यादातर एक तो उस मामले में, उस इलाके में, उस एरिया में देखते ही नहीं है, कुछ कर भी नहीं रहे हैं, बट एक्चुअली वो बस सिर्फ नाम के एनजीओज हैं. सो ये स्पेशली बहुत होता है एनजीओज के साथ, और वो इस वजह से ही लोगों तक ना तो ये बात पहुंच पाती तो स्पेशली स्ट्रीट डॉग से जो परेशानी है उससे वो बच नहीं पाते हैं. मतलब एटलीस्ट शायद मुझे लगता है कि ये भी अपील करनी चाहिए कि कम से कम जो एनजीओज हैं तो वो काम उसके लिए सीरियसली करें.
जी जी. और हाँ, एक्चुअली ये एनिमल शेल्टर्स जो काफ़ी आजकल बन चुके हैं, उनका रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ये है कि विच एवर एनिमल कम्स टू देम प्लीज गेट देम वैक्सीनेटेड एटलीस्ट. क्योंकि अगर दे कांट अफोर्ड टू शेल्टर, एटलीस्ट अगर उनका वैक्सीनेशन हो जाए तो दे आर सेफ टू बी ऑन द रोड. एंड इट्स नॉट दैट वी कैन रिमूव ऑल एनिमल्स फ्रॉम द रोड्स, क्योंकि उनके जो घर है वो जहाँ पे भी जाएंगे वी कांट गेट रिड ऑफ देम. तो एटलीस्ट वी शुड लर्न टू को एग्जिस्ट विद देम. सिमिलरली जो काफ़ी लोग हैं बिस्किट्स खिलाते हैं या फिर उनको पानी देते हैं, दूध देते हैं, मीट के बोन्स देते हैं, क्योंकि वो उनके पास पड़ा रहता है एंड दे वांट टू फीड द डॉग्स आउट ऑफ एम्पैथी, केयर. बट अलोंग विद दैट वी शुड आल्सो प्रायोरिटाइज वैक्सीनेशन as long as it is something that we can afford for the animals and that animal is around in our society, building के आसपास. That is something that we can think about. क्योंकि सब कुछ हम shelters या NGOs के ऊपर नहीं रख सकते, especially when you say there are already NGOs not really doing that.
Yes, not really doing that. So मुझे लगा कि कम से कम उनके पास ये बात पहुंचे और वो कम से कम करें इसके लिए कुछ. ये okay. The second question is that who were the guests who came for this event? The CARCON.
We had a lot of eminent guests from across the country who came from across fields. The primary person, our guest of honor, was Dr. Umesh Bharti, who is someone who was behind coming up with an affordable cure for rabies. So he's a very important personality in the subject of rabies, because in India finding the cure was an important milestone in rabies studies. And along with that there was someone who did the oration in tribute to Dr. Bharti, who was Dr. Shri Krishna Islur, who is part of the World Organization for Animal Health Laboratory. He's the director of that laboratory.
Oh, great.
Which means that he is one of the leading experts who contributes a lot to the scientific studies of rabies. He's at this position where he knows what are the latest developments. So he was able to share with us a lot of insights on what is our progress so far. And along with him, all the other guests who came were, for instance, Dr. Monil Singhai, who is the Joint Director of National Center for Disease Control, who talked about the vaccination and what is the first aid treatment that is usually given, was addressed by Dr. Preeti Inamdar, who came from our university, School of Medicine's Pediatrics department.
Yes.
So as a pediatrician, she was able to address what is it that a child gets as the first treatment and what is it that we can do to prevent it, or what are the different medications available. So this was actually a very interesting conference because it also involved a panel discussion between school principals and school students, because one of our topics was, should rabies be included in school education? So in that aspect, the school principals, there was one principal who is from our Nyan Pushpa school, she was part of this conference, and along with her we had so that was Miss Anshu Rana, who was here from Nyan Pushpa, and along with her we had from the NMMC school Miss Aruna Yadav and Miss Sanjot Gosavi, who were addressing the aspect of how school education can be improved. If something like rabies, which is very scientific, can be boring, how do we teach it to students? So that's where student representatives came in. So students talked about how आप बस एक वीडियो बना के हमें भेजेंगे, तो it may not be that effective. It has to be an ongoing process. Teaching methods have to be improved. So Ms. Sanjot, who's from the NMMC school, talked about role plays and how role plays can make the scenario of getting a rabies bite more relatable, so that students also take it more seriously. They discuss it with their parents. They don't feel scared to talk about it to their parents ki ha, I fed this animal and this happened, what can I do? A lot of times children feel scared to talk to their parents about it.
Yes.
So the students were able to address that, and Miss Aruna Yadav, who's from the school education department, she talked about how the government has to take an active role in inculcating this in education, because even she finds it very important as something that faces us as a danger in an everyday situation, because there are animals around us who might follow when we are walking akele raat ko, or you know, when we
and especially you are going with the scooty.
Yes, they tend to chase you.
They chase you, and you are so much frightened with them.
Yes, we're very
so you
scared.
Can't control your driving.
Yeah, we're very scared, and we don't know what exactly is the risk. Like if we get something like rabies, we don't know what to do when we get it. If someone bites us, how do we keep ourselves safe? So when the school aspect came in, what we realized was everyone wants to collaborate. These experts who are at the scientific level writing studies, talking about what are the most recent advancements, and at the same time at the school level, even school students want to know these things. They want to learn more so that they can keep themselves safe, because they interact with animals on a daily basis. They may have pets at their own homes. Is it that we stop coexisting with animals? No. So all these experts who came from different fields, so that the audience, which may not be from a scientific field or which is just a general community member, everyone could understand how it is that we can tackle this disease, which is very deadly. And if someone gets bitten, it can be a very quick risk to death, unless you get the treatment immediately. So that is why a lot of different kinds of experts were required for this conference, because we realized collaboration is something that is possible.
Yes, okay, great explained. और रेबीज किस जानवर के काटने से होता है?
So main thing
क्योंकि डॉग्स का तो लगभग हमें पता ही है.
जी, 96% of bites of rabies deaths are associated with dog bites. Apart from that, we also have cats. Cats can also be sharing the
मुझे monkeys का पता था कि monkeys के साथ है.
Jackals, wolves, mongoose. So these are some of the animals, but the most common one are definitely dogs. That's why dogs and cats, because they're more commonly found around us, it's important to get them vaccinated, even if you're not related to them. Or people tend to say not to go near them at all, because if you start feeding them, they might, grow an attachment. They might come behind you. आपको पता नहीं उनका behavior कैसे हो सकता है. So that's why staying safe. But if you can get an animal vaccinated, that would be great.
That would be great. Okay. What were some highlights of this conference? Actually, you have mentioned a lot, but you can add some things.
Yeah, just to conclude how this conference was, it was something that really made all of us understand. I remember this one moment when we were having this panel discussion with school students and the school education officer and the principals, the audience members, which consisted of all these experts who came, from either from the neurology field or pediatrics or, from NCDC. All of them were part of the audience listening to our future, right? Our student representatives who were talking about wanting to learn these things. And so all of them started to talk, brainstorm right there. Like, these experts the students said that we need to have something that's very engaging. It can't just be a science textbook ka paragraph ki, okay, this is rabies and rabies ke symptoms aise hote hain. Ye kafi nahi ho sakta.
It's not like the generalized.
Yes, it's not generalized, and it's not something that's just given ek page pe and then you end it there. It has to be more engaging. So even the experts who were in the audience, they said, okay, what would you like? And they were discussing right there, what is it that we can do together? The students said maybe you can have workshops where, you constantly interact and bring in real life situations. Like one of the teachers, she suggested role plays. So the students said, yes, role plays would be great, because that's where we would find things more relatable, or we can bring in our own everyday, situations. So the experts who want to know how to engage with the younger generation, they were able to get ideas to take back home. And apart from that, of course, we could also see how technology, which was the theme for our last panel discussion, technology can really boost this research in this field, because surveillance is something that, like geotagging dogs, figuring out which animals in an area are vaccinated, which animals are stray, are sheltered, who is responsible for their care. All of these things can be linked with technology. And apart from that, even talking about the vaccination that is given before exposure. Abhi ke liye it is cure, or post exposure, once someone has bitten, what do you do? But what if we have the vaccination that can be given before exposure, which can really prevent things from getting to that place of bite, and after that, all the risks that come with that, before it turns fatal, how about we protect ourselves before that? So this is something the governments are also considering, pre-exposure prophylaxis vaccination, which is something that was also the theme. And a lot of people talked about rabies being something that concerns all fields. It is not purely scientific. It's something that affects us on a day-to-day basis. So this conference could bring out that importance, could connect with the community, and also made us really aware of how interconnected we are with animals, with creatures.
Yes, definitely.
And the solution is not to kill them. The solution is not to just say, okay, they are not our problem.
The solution is actually cure them.
Yeah, solution is to cure them. Solution is to see how it is that we can coexist.
Yes.
So it was, that was the main takeaways.
नाइसली एक्सप्लेन्ड। और यहाँ पर मेरे साथ निधि पनिकर, और दोबारा उनसे जरूर मुलाकात होगी यहाँ पर ज्ञानवाणी डिपार्टमेंट में, और उसके बाद नो योर फैकल्टी में भी। थैंक यू सो मच कि आप यहाँ पर आए, आपने काफी ज्यादा लोगों को बहुत ज्यादा चीजें बताई, एंड थैंक यू सो मच टू यू ऑल्सो कि आप लोग हम लोगों के साथ बने हुए हैं, बने रहिए 90.4 मेगाहर्ट्ज कम्युनिटी रेडियो पर। थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू।